I grabbed these two planters and you're going to be shocked when you see what I did with them. I spread them out on some cardboard and spray painted them brown. I let it dry for 24 hours and spray painted them again. When the second coat was done, I let that dry and cut circles out of the cardboard to fit inside the planters. Then I used some spray foam and sprayed a thick layer on top of the cardboard. I scrunched up some newspaper and placed it inside and then kept spraying the foam all the way around. I found this spray foam worked best when you sprayed continuously. Then I used acrylic white paint to paint the spray foam white. Then I used caulking to make some gingerbread inspired designs on the bottom part of the planter. I added mini ornaments for sprinkles and a large red ornament for a cherry on top. And that is how I made gingerbread inspired ice cream cones, the most magical decor for your front porch this season.
Start with a pool noodle, and I am going to cut one piece. It's going to be straight on one end and tapered on the other. I want this to look like a straw, so since my pool noodle is red, I'm going to wrap it in white duct tape. Now let's cut 3 small sections of that same pool noodle, and I want these to be white. So I could either paint them white, but since I have the white duct tape, I'm just going to cover them in white, and now we've got a couple little marshmallows. Now I need a big round piece, and I'm going to use foam board for this and just cut out a big circle. On here, I want to write a little message to all the delivery drivers that are dropping off packages for us. I started with pencil, and now I'm just going to fill it in with some paint markers. Using that same foam board, I'm going to cut out another shape that's going to act as a handle. And I'm going to paint this brown with a brown paint marker to match the flower pot. So let's get this assembled. On that piece of foam board where I wrote the words, I am going to attach the straw and marshmallows using some hot glue. This is going to be the top of a giant mug. The base of the mug is a big brown flower pot that I had. And I'm going to use hot glue to attach the handle to the side, turning it into a mug. Out on my front porch, I have filled this with all kinds of snacks. I can place the lid right on top, and I've got a little piece of duct tape on the edge that acts as just a handle, so it's really easy to open. This is tucked in a corner where it's safe from the weather, and now I've got snacks for those awesome delivery drivers who are bringing us packages all throughout the holiday season.
So you're going to grab some garden pots that are plastic and some small basketballs. You can improvise with some other supplies you have, but this is what I'm using. I grabbed a red garden pot, which was very easy. Otherwise, you can grab some spray paint and paint another color pot, whatever you find. So I'm grabbing some black paint because I'm going to outline this bell. And you'll see that I'm making some lines on the side because that's what you would see on a regular bell. And I'm going to do this in 3 sections. Then I'm going to make some highlights. So we're going to add some little black in different areas. And then we're going to grab some white. And we're going to strategically put the white in different areas to make it look highlighted also. Then I grabbed some basketballs because these seemed to be perfect for me. They were already red and another contrasting color. And then I'm just going to add highlights to them. And if you can't find basketballs in the size you want, you can use ornaments, whatever that works better for your DIY when you're making your special bells. And then after I add the white highlights throughout this, I am going to add some string so that I can hang these inside of the bell. And you're going to wrap that around the ball. And you're going to do it on each ball until you get it nicely snug. Be sure to double knot it, but we're going to make it extra secure with some hot glue. And then it makes it stick really well. And I like to use Gorilla Glue hot glue. And after we do that, we are going to drill some holes in the top of our pots. And then we're going to grab some washers and a hook. But first we're going to thread our basketball through to make it look like a bell. And we're going to see the length that we want. So see how it hangs out a little? That's perfect. Then we are going to knot this and leave a little opening of the knot because that's where we're going to thread in our closed hook. We're going to grab a washer or 2 and then we're going to push the hook through, turn that until it's totally snug. And once we get it snug, we're going to flip over our pot and we're going to add a few more washers and a nut and we're going to secure that so that's totally tight. Repeat the process on all your bells. Look how cute this looks. I love how Dr. Seussy this is. Then I'm going to grab some rope and I'm going to tie that securely, and see how I tilted the bells so they're in the shape that I want, so they're hanging side by side. And I'm going to double knot that so it's totally tight and secure. Then I'm going to grab some ribbon, and you can use any color ribbon you want or any thickness. And because I like to use what I have, I had a lot of this ribbon. So I'm going to make that into a bow, and then I'm going to take another large piece and make another bow so that it makes it more floppy. Then I'm going to grab some white paint and I'm going to make some stripes on the bow. And this is going to add some extra texture. It's going to make it look really cute and whimsical. And then for me, I'm putting them at the top of my house. And I also added some lighting to make them illuminate at night. And it looks so cute. And I love the way these holiday bells turned out. They go so well with my other Grinch props that I've made.
First, you're going to start with a mug. Is take the 2-part epoxy and we're going to mix it together. So I start mixing it, making sure you get it really thorough. And then what I will do is go ahead and mix a little bit of the brown acrylic paint with it. Once you think you got it mixed just right and it's got a good color to it, we're going to let this set aside. So what we're going to do, you're going to put just a little bit of epoxy against the rim. So keep working around the rim. So this is the look we're looking for. Look at that. So you've got to watch and make sure that it doesn't drip too far. If it does, just hold it up like this. You can also use a cup, place it on there like this. Work on your next cup, but always check so you can turn it back over again. And here is the final product. I went ahead and used a magic marker to go ahead and draw some happy faces on the mugs. And then here's a surprise. Look at that ice cream bowl. Instead of mixing brown, I mixed pink and added some sprinkles. What a wonderful treat for your family.
So the first thing we're going to do is grab a pumpkin. This is a fake lightweight pumpkin and a clay pot. I'm going to take these outside and spray paint the pumpkin white, just giving it a primer coat, and add a light brown to the pot. Now once the paint's dry, on the pot I'm going to use some twine and some glue and just add a lattice work. I want it to kind of look like a waffle cone. Now to make these two pieces look like an ice cream cone, I am going to take the pumpkin and just place it inside the pot. You want to make sure that your pumpkin fits but still sits kind of on top. Then I am going to grab this foam insulation. Make sure you are working outside, your space is covered, and you're wearing gloves. Now, this takes a little bit of getting used to, but once you've got the technique down, you want to spray the foam along the gap where the pumpkin meets the clay pot. It is going to hold the two together, and it's going to look like the bottom of a scoop of ice cream. Now, this foam will expand, so spray very little and then let it sit. This foam has sat for about an hour, and already it's grown in size. Once it completely hardens, this is all paintable. So the next step is to turn this pumpkin into a scoop of strawberry ice cream. So I'm just going to paint the whole thing pink. Adding that light coat of white spray paint at the beginning is going to help this pink take really well. It's starting to look like an ice cream cone already. Now we're going to add some sprinkles with just some colorful pipe cleaners and glue. Finally, a cherry on top. I want to cover up that stem, so I just grabbed a couple red pom-poms and I'm going to glue them to the top. This adorable pumpkin ice cream cone is going to be really cool for a birthday party. I intend on making this and some smaller ones to use for a party decoration. But for right now, it's going to hang out in my kids' playroom and really add to that colorful, fun vibe they have in there. I hope this inspired you to do something different with a pumpkin this year and an old clay pot that you probably have hanging out.